This
Wonderful.
conference will now be recorded.
There it is.
Excellent.
There we go.
Yay. So thank you to Hannah for leading us in the art tonight, which is super important. And if any of you don't know, I have read up on our dear Hannah, who's a fellow moderator with AnCan. She was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when she was 27. She's educated at Southeastern Texas University.
Southwestern.
What one? Southwestern?
Southwestern. Close enough.
Southwestern Texas. And then you teach art at Whimsy School?
And at Hearts Need Art online.
All right. And she's going to be very easy with us and give us some good instruction with art. So thanks for doing this, Hannah.
Yay. Very cool. Thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate you guys being here and taking some time out for yourself. Alexa, would you like to say a few words before we begin?
Absolutely. And they're only going to be good words about you, by the way. Hi, I'm Alexa Jett. I'm with AnCan. If this is your first time with us, I'm thrilled because I love to meet new friends. We are an organization because we believe that no one should ever have to face anything alone. So we have an amazing MS group moderated by Dan, Jen, Kim, Hannah, and Frank. Just amazing. So if you've not attended that, I highly recommend that you do. I'm always an email away. I'll put my email in the chat. Let me know if you love this event, you want more events like this. But we brought in Hannah. She is a personal friend of mine. She's amazing. And this is another great way that we can provide support for you. So thank you so much, Hannah. And I'm looking forward to crafting, getting creative.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I appreciate the good words, definitely. Now we can go ahead and get started. This is what I do for a living. I love to teach people. I love to teach people the ideas of mindfulness in art. And that's really what this is going to be about today. It's going to be about letting your mind flow with the paint, so to speak. Just sort of playing around with the paints and seeing what you can do, playing around with the colors. I will give you guys a little bit of a run through on like how I choose colors whenever I'm first starting, because I know that can kind of be a little daunting whenever you're choosing colors. What goes with what doesn't go with what should you do, what should you not do? Of course, like I know people can get a little bit tense about that, even with coloring pages too. So I'll just sort of let you know a little bit about what I do. But other than that, I use the arts to, I guess, sort of heal. Whenever I was first diagnosed, I was suffering a lot, as many of us with MS are, and do on a daily basis. But of course, when I was first diagnosed, everything was just, chaotic, and you don't know where to start. You don't know where to go from there. So art was just kind of a way for me to hone in on a way to, I guess, better myself in a way and sort of focus on something that rewires my brain for the moment, and just sort of lets me recalibrate for a moment so that I can continue on for the rest of my day. So I'm hoping that this can be kind of like a little tool for you guys to just put in your back pocket at some point, and I hope you just have fun with it, because that's the idea. You just play around with the colors and you just have fun with the textures. So without further ado, let's begin. I have a lot of examples for you. I will be teaching you guys 3 different types of scrapes that I like to do on these paintings. So why don't I actually first introduce the things that we'll need for our class today before I dive into that, so you guys will get a chance to go and get it if you don't have it already. Of course, you'll need old gift cards, so make sure they are old. Make sure they don't have anything in them. Get those. We're going to be scraping them along our paper. And speaking of paper, we will be needing some thicker, heavier paper, or even some cardboard if you have cardboard. I love the texture of cardboard. I'll show you an example in a second. You'll need something to put your paints on to. So for me, I'm going to be pouring them out, and I'm going to be using the cards to sort of tap the paint onto the cards. So make sure you have that. and probably very important to have some napkins around. It's gonna get a little messy, and I will be wiping my gift cards on the napkin pretty often. So be sure to have at least a few on hand. So as far as colors, any colors will do. I'm using acrylic paint, and just whatever cheap acrylic paint you can find will be perfect. So it's all you need. Let me go ahead and dive into some of the examples for the paintings that we'll be doing. Now, I'm just showing you examples. I really would love for you to go off the deep end, if you will, and do your own thing if you want to. Play with it, experiment with the colors. This one, I'll show you how to make this one if you like it. I use some like back and forth scrapes like that, where I kind of rounded it out. I actually call this a soft scrape painting. So you're not really pressing down hard, you're just letting the texture go through. So there's another example where I reverse the colors. And then here, another soft scrape example. So this one, you literally just layer the colors on top of it. No need to press hard at all. And as soon as they dry, you can put on another color on top of that. Next one I'll be doing is a hard scrape. This one, I will be actually placing the paint directly on the paper, and I will be scraping down hard. I don't want any of that white to show through. So I say hard, but like, please try not to tear the paper. Not that hard. Be careful. I've done that. That's why I have to mention it. So that's a hard scrape. This one as well. You can see the texture of the paper show through on this one, and I love this one. This one, I was actually thinking about making a bookmark by cutting across here and then just sort of like hole punching and putting a ribbon on that one because I love the way this looks. And the next one is going to be, I call this like a round and twist, because I'm literally rounding it out and twisting it. So this one, I made it because I had MS awareness on mind. Excuse me. Hadn't drank my tea in time, sorry. Okay, so this one, I literally just took it, scraped it around like that. Now you don't exactly have to do that. This one, I took it and I let it pivot on a corner. So this is where you round it out. Now that one, if your hand coordination is not the greatest, that's totally fine. That was, I would say, a little bit more advanced, and that's why I put it at the back. This one, also a little bit more advanced. I did take a little bit more time on this one, where I literally just went like this, all around the paper like that. And I refilled my paint as needed. So, and then that one as well. So now that you have an idea of the types of scrapes I'm going to be showing you, you can just sort of like figure out which one you want to focus on whenever I give the demos. I'll put that. Second thing I wanted to show you is the types of projects that you can take on after you do these things. So, for example, I know I mentioned earlier that I happened to do some on some cardboard because I'd heard that somebody in the group was gonna have cardboard. So I was like, okay, let's try this. Here it is. I made like a little. At first, I didn't really know what it was gonna become. I just knew that I wanted the texture of the cardboard to really show through. So on this, I did a combination of a hard scrape it really hard, and a soft scrape. The soft scrape, that's the blue that you see here. That's what allowed the colors to catch. It caught on to the texture of the cardboard. And then I just painted on top of it. So you can always put a quote on it, and I've made some holes so it can hang. I happen to have a puffer fish, and that's why I drew a puffer fish on top of it. It's my little fishy. 10 points to anybody who can guess his name if you don't know it already. It's very easy, I promise. And then another one, another idea, which may take a little bit more time. Okay. I'm putting my sister and her husband in the spotlight here. This is a little matte frame, and I plan on putting it inside of this floating frame here, like this. So it'll float on the wall like that. So just a little idea for you. And of course, if you guys ever, ever want some ideas, you're more than welcome to contact me. Maybe we can toss some ideas around. So I think without further ado, we can get started. So,
and Hannah, sorry to interrupt you. From what I'm seeing, there is no way to mess this up.
no,
This is like
not at all.
Anything, you can go any direction, and it's gonna be great.
Exactly. And that's exactly right. Like you can do literally any technique on layer them on top of each other. The only thing that you need to do is give yourself some patience and forgive yourself when it doesn't quite look exactly the way you had planned in mind. Because you can't really plan these things. These types of I guess projects, they don't really do well when they're planned. So I would say don't really have too many expectations. Just pick your favorite colors and go through with it. Go with it. That's usually what I do, really. Now, I wanted to show you guys a little bit of color theory. And when I say color theory, it's really more like which colors not to mix if you don't want brown or pea soup or something like that, or mud, That's really all I mean when I say color theory. So I always like to put my white in the middle. And of course, if you're feeling a little cramped in space with your paper plate here, you don't exactly have to pour all your paints out. You can just sort of wait. What I want to do right now is show you guys the primary colors and what they make. So, primary colors, yellow, blue, and red. I'm just going to put them off to the side here. Now, red and blue, this might seem pretty basic, but as we grow older, we don't really think about the colors on a regular basis, At least, I have, but I've been doing art for years. So red and blue make purple, just so you guys know that. They make purple. So actually, I could put this in the middle here. Red and yellow make orange. Those are our secondary colors. Pretty basic stuff so far. And then our last one, blue and yellow, make green. Now, I'm going to grab a paintbrush just because I want to show you guys something. Now I mentioned that it's more about what colors not to choose, really. So for me, I would not want to add colors that are opposites from each other. So these two, they're facing each other, green and red. Because green and red, if you can see here, oh no, it's something, I don't know what that is. But if you like that color, then of course you can use it, but it's not bright, just so you know. And I want you to know that if you like certain colors that I'm mixing here, then by all means, use them, encourage that. But as you can see, I usually like to go for colors that are next to each other. So perhaps a blue and a purple and a red, or perhaps a blue and a purple and a pink. I've got a pink in here. So either that, or if I'd like a little pop of color, I might be able to maybe skip one. Perhaps I can skip a red and blue, purple, and yellow, but I wouldn't necessarily put those two colors in a position where they would mix while I'm scraping. I can certainly put the opposite colors onto the paper, but like I said, I wouldn't really allow them to mix. I would just allow them to just sort of sit together. That's pretty much it. I guess without further ado, I can get started.
You know what? I'm confused a little bit about,
Yeah.
because it was a long time ago, about the primary colors.
Yeah.
Because when you're saying when they're opposite each other,
Mm-hmm.
so they're not primary colors opposite each other, correct?
They're actually called complementary colors. Sorry about that. I misspoke. They're called complementary colors when they're the opposites from each other. So the primary colors, those are actually only specifically the yellow and the blue and the red, because they sort of, are the basis for every other color. So they're primary. And then the secondary colors, those are the two colors that you mix when you put two primaries together. So you got purple here in the middle, you got green here in the middle in between these two. So what I meant to say is complementary colors. That's
No,
really what
I
I meant.
think you said it. I just
Oh,
was
okay.
forgetting.
Yeah. Now, personally, I actually like the way orange and blue look together. I happen to think that looks really pretty. So, yeah, by all means, add that to your painting whenever necessary. If you ever wanted to add white to a painting, you're more than welcome to. So I always like to use lighter colors as well. So you would technically call this a tint, but I won't go into that much, but that's technically called a tint when you add a white to it. It's called a shade when you add black to it. But you don't really need to know all that. So I guess I can get started. I will add some pink to my palette because I personally like using pink a lot. I do recommend just grabbing the paints and putting them next to each other and see if you like that color combination. So if you just happen to like the pink with whatever color or any other color next to each other, feel free to just use those. I do recommend using perhaps 4 colors per painting. So I would say this is a very Easter looking color palette to me. If there's a particular theme that you like Easter, for example, is right around the corner, then feel free to use those colors. If there's a particular type of scenery that you like, try and think of that scenery. See if you can visualize it. So personally, I love seeing gardens with lots of lush greens, with pops of color, pops of flowers poking through. So say I like to look at pink flowers right next to orange flowers. I know that's very specific, but you can create that color scheme on your paper if you like it. I also happen to love dark, stormy clouds when you see them across the beach line. So the colors that you would see there would be perhaps gray, maybe a little bit of navy blue, purple, white, and then perhaps teal. Those are the colors that you'd be able to see in those kind of landscapes. So see if you can visualize landscapes, and if you have trouble pinpointing any colors, feel free to ask me, and I can pull out colors from a piece of scenery for you. Now I'm going to begin with the soft scrape. Now take your paper, and I should mention also that I think I'd shown you one of the hard scrape examples, this one here. If there's ever a point in time where you'd like to get up and grab another piece of paper or something, and create a card, you can do so. This was intended to be a card, like a birthday card. So what I did was I took some painter's tape, and I have it around here. I took some painter's tape and I taped the edges before I started. So you're more than welcome during any of these demos to go grab some tape if you wanted that. I just taped it to my table. So it's pretty easy to do that. We're going to be working on a few projects if you have paper that allows for you to do that. Okay, enough talking. Let's get started. I have my colors, and I'm going to start like this. we're going to do a soft scrape. So I have my card here. I'm going to tap, tap, tap. You see those lines? I'm tapping back and forth, back and forth. I'm using the long side, so I have plenty of space here to grab. Tap, tap, tap. Plenty of space to grab. Soft scrape is where you can start at the top here. Start scraping it down, scraping it up. Refill. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap to the side. Scraping it down, scraping it up. Look at the texture that comes around. I can show you what it looks like when I stack them together. So here's another little technique. Watch carefully as I start there, scrape it up, match this end, see where I'm putting it down, match that end, scrape down like that. That's just a little technique you can put in if you wanted to do that. That's especially something that you can employ if you don't like the hard lines that it leaves at the top there. If you don't like that, you can always stack them. Scrape it down. And then anytime you're ready to move on to the next color, you have napkins so that you can wipe it like that. And then you can move on to the next color. Now remember what I said about choosing the right colors. So I'm not really going to go to yellow or to orange because I know because they're on the opposite sides, they're not gonna mix very well with these two. So I'm gonna go to perhaps blue. I could even do white at any time too, or black at any time. If you have black paint, that would look really pretty with these colors. Up and down. The idea is to layer them together. Another thing that you can try is to perhaps do a little scoop like that. Just a little scoop of paint. That's going to allow you to go further down the line, like that.
Would you put the darker or the lighter? Does it matter if you got the darker or the lighter on the bottom?
No, it doesn't really matter. For a lot of other paintings, it would matter, but not for scrape painting. I'm guessing just because of the way it dries and just the way it interacts and the way you're putting the paint down onto the paper, it doesn't really matter. Like I could even go over it with some black paint to show you. Now, at any point in time, you don't need to really wait for me if you don't want to. You can move on to your next color. So I mentioned perhaps using 4 colors. 3 colors is cool, but I'd say make it a little exciting. You know, use that extra color. I'm going to add some white paint. Tap, tap, tap it on there. And because I know already that scooping a little bit more is going to help me to go a little bit further, that's what I'm going to do now. Like that. Scrape it up and down. And you can see that because it's so thin, you're able to see that color underneath it. There's that purple, there's that blue and purple speckle that you see there. So just kind of go up and down at your pace. Always do this at your pace. Now I started off with safe colors that I know would mix pretty well. So now that certain colors like the purple and the blue on mine, those are starting to dry a little bit more. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Let's make things more interesting. I'm gonna wipe it. Wipe my card. Now, I know from looking at my color wheel here, I see here that yellow and blue make green. So green would be a pretty safe color to put on there. And because I like to live life in the fast lane, I'm going to go straight to yellow. I mean, I know I have green there, but let's make it interesting. I'm going to perhaps put it over this blue area here. See how it layers? Suddenly we've got some green. Look at that. And because I scraped it, we can see that green very well. We can actually see the purple underneath it, and that actually looks pretty nice. I actually really like that. Like purple speckles. It almost looks like cheetah speckles to me. Usually, what I always like to do is jump off of something that is already happening within the painting. So I already made my first moves. I already put color down. But I can just sort of teeter-totter off of whatever is already there. I can play with it. And this is why I don't really need a plan, because I like to sort of look at what I already have and then just sort of play with it and bounce off of what's already there. So let's say I really like this, the way this yellow looks, because I've already done the experimentation. I already know what it looks like. I'm going to put more yellow. In fact, because I like the way it looks so much over that purple here, I'm putting more over that purple. Like that. If you'd really like to make something a little different with this one here, I happened to turn it around just like this. After doing it vertically, I turned it to landscape position and I made more of these soft scrapes on top of it. Let's see, I've got 3-4 colors on here. Let's go for, I'm gonna throw another technique out there. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit, okay? Now feel free to do this or not, you don't have to, but I'm going to combine 2 colors onto the same scraping. So because they're so close to each other already, I've got I can scrape my yellow to this side, can scrape my orange to this side using the corners. I'm using the corners here. Like that. It's gonna get a little messy. But because I'm doing this, go down here, I can create a nice little combo scrape. That's just a little combination. Now I instinctually turned it around, but be careful when you turn it around to use the paint on this side because the colors are not on the same side here. They're opposites now. Just be careful with that.
What did you mean that they're on opposite sides in your palette? Or
yeah,
on
like
your...
on the gift card here, because my instinct, this is what I always do, is I like to use the paint that shows up on the other side, on this side. Like to use that paint, but since I'm going to do that, I know that they're opposite sides now. There's more orange on here, and there's more yellow on this side, whereas I have yellow here and I have orange here. They're opposites, so it can get a little confusing like that. So I would just
Well,
sort of,
you succeeded. I felt
yeah,
confused.
yeah. So there's that. And then another little trick, if you wanted to, you could put some white right on top of that and sort of push these colors back so that they're not so bright. Push them back so they're not so bright. It's all about the layering. In any of these demos that I do, it's all about how you layer the colors. Now, with that being said, I'm going to show you how to do the next one.
Oh, sorry,
If I
Hannah.
can.
I have one question.
Sure.
You know, if you use these cards, they really get messy. You have to clean them up when you use them. That isn't a
You're right. You're right. You do have to clean them. And it's good that you're remembering that. I'm glad that you remembered to do that. Do you have a lot of napkins with you?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Good.
That was almost a mess.
Yeah. And why do creepers just scare you on survival on Minecraft and then explode when you're building your house? And you
Okay.
get that door. And I really do not like a door.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'd like to show you how I created this right here. So it's all about the layering. So now that you've got the basics down, you know what a soft scrape is. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. And in fact, maybe I will show you on the same one. I'll show you on the same page. You're welcome to move to a different page if you want to, but I just want to show you on this one. On this one, I just sort of moved my paint from side, or I'm sorry, moved my gift card from side to side, like that. I started with one color. So I started with white, and that's the one way at the bottom. Then I moved on to light blue. That one's on top of that one. Then I moved to teal. Then I moved to the navy. And then I moved to purple. So it's what, 5 colors right there? Now this is just meant to show you what this looks like. So for me, I can start with color number 1. There's a reason I chose those particular colors. For one, they're very calming colors. You can think about that. But 2, they're all next to each other on the color wheel. So purple is next to midnight blue, is next to aqua, is next to ice blue. So you can think of it that way. I just flipped my paper here. This one, I moved it to the side, like that. Picking it up often, like that. Don't forget to refill your paint when you need it. I did press down a little bit harder just because I wanted some of those bolder brush strokes. I'm going to refill because I need more purple. It's totally okay if you go off the page. In fact, I encourage it sometimes. And with this one, well, as well as the other one, it's about layering the colors and looking at how the colors layer on top of each other. So for me, I can now move on to blue since I'm done with purple. Now, with all of these, I highly encourage you to choose your own colors. Choose what colors you love the most. Calming, or energetic colors. I should probably clarify that for me at least, the calming colors are blue. They're also green. They're a little bit more on the cooler end, so you would associate them with winter perhaps, or a cloudy day. Warmer colors are, at least for me, more energetic colors. So those are going to be red, orange, yellow, colors that would invoke excitement. Colors of the summer, for example. Now I can put, let's see, does somebody want to pick a color for me? Any volunteers?
What do the kids think?
Yeah.
I want Hannah to use.
Yeah, what color should I put right here? What do you think?
You could, oh yeah. There's the water dancing on the beach. No. Yeah. Then you
didn't catch that.
and then the way there's black things.
They were saying yellow because they say that the blue and the purple is reminding them of ocean waves. So
So the yellow would be the sunlight? Is that what it would be?
No, the sand.
oh, the yellow would be
Oh, the sand. I gotcha. Okay, yellow would be the sand. I like it. Okay, so since the yellow is the sand, I'm gonna put some yellow, like that. Thanks for the idea. And I know already that yellow and blue make green.
You know, so the green could be for the glass.
Maybe.
I really do like to paint with red. You know, not all the time I paint with red.
Not all the time?
Yeah. Sometimes
Okay.
I paint with black or yellow or green.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the colors I like for now, but soon I will like blue as well. Why can't you like me right now?
Well,
Because it's not my birthday yet.
oh.
Yeah.
Well, I like the way the white is layering on top.
You want another age.
I need some
It sort
color
of
help.
looks like waves.
When you
Sure,
Anna?
color help?
I need some color help.
Yeah, go for it.
They will always be on the day.
I think I did better when I wasn't deliberate. You know, I'm just really trying out this thing that I have. I don't even know what it is. Pen up.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to manipulate it to show you what I did before. And I liked the other thing before because I wasn't thinking about it. So I had like yellow, orange, and green, like soft green, like a very pastel, like a soft green. I had yellow, orange, and green.
Mhm.
The other one I wasn't thinking. And I realized I had the yellow, orange, green, and I had some purple, like a light kind of purple.
Yeah,
And
that sounds pretty.
well, I like those colors together. And then now I'm afraid. So now I only have, well, I can show you because.
Yeah, if you can show me.
So now I have like, I don't know, these yellow. I don't want those hard lines. You know, I wanted to soften them. But now I'm afraid, like, well, what color can I do to soften them? So I just added the greens. So, I'm getting this very similar effect.
Yeah. Well, I think I see the green, unless I'm mistaking that for another color.
No, it's just the
Right
green. And then they're blending. You know, I can't, I'm showing it in the thing, but they're blending. See?
Yeah, I see
So-
that. Well, It's reminding me of summer. It's reminding me of oranges and citrus fruits too. So I'm wondering, where should you go now that you know that, now that it, at least for me, it sort of gives that feeling. Did you say that you don't want them to blend, or you do want them to blend? Or
No,
is
no,
that the question?
they're blending, you know, and now I have those harsh orange lines in the middle.
Mm.
They're blending, and actually it looks better than what on the screen when I showed you. I'm like, no, they're very citrusy.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, then I was like, I wouldn't remember anyway, but I have MS, so I really don't remember. It's like, what did she say? So if I mix the green with the orange, is that going to be a problem?
Yeah.
Is that going to be like?
Yeah, no, I understand that.
It's
But
more
on,
like I think I wanted another color, but now I'm afraid. And the other color was sort of this purplish one that I was using before that worked. I'll show you later the before
what
because I'm afraid I'll lose it. Like,
what if you, honestly, what if you use lavender? Are you able to use lavender in there? Because I
yeah,
feel like
probably. Yeah, probably.
that.
I can lighten those.
I feel
I don't
like that would be the nice touch that would need it. It
Right.
wouldn't really overpower any of the other colors.
You're right. That's what I was needing.
Lavender, I also happen to love
Well,
lavender,
if only I could
guys.
figure out how this program works.
Well, this is a great time to practice. It really
Yeah.
is.
I mean, I wouldn't do this by myself. That's why I was like, please, can I
Mhm.
come?
I know. I'm so happy that you have that tool to use as well. I honestly wish I had one of those tablets because they're super cool.
Well, you know, I got it so I could be more comfortable using my hand, and
Hmm.
now, but now I can't figure out how to get more colors. It's like,
Yeah. Now I wanted to show everybody how to do my favorite one, honestly. This was going to be the hard scrape. So and you can see the process more easily here. Right here where you see these domes, that's where I put the paint. So I literally would take my paint, and I would just do a little bit. A little bit really goes a long way if you're able to do that. Do little dots of paint. And this is where you can really get creative with those colors. Dots of paint. Now this is where the big question, well, what colors do you choose, right? This is the big question. So right here, you can see very clearly. Remember those opposite colors, those complementary colors? Those would be purple and yellow. I put them right on top of each other. So you can see the kind of like pea soupy color that it made as it scraped along. Now, personally, I find that to be a very interesting bit of diversity in the painting. Like, I kind of like that. Maybe not so much down here, but it looks pretty cool, like right where the yellow peeked in. I didn't do that on purpose. That was just happy accident. So let the happy accidents commence, all right? Just be careful with where you put the complementary colors. Now, these two colors, orange and red, perfectly fine wherever you want to put them. As you can see here, red is right next to purple, so I can go ahead and put those colors next to each other. If you can, try to do just little dots. You can always put more dots if you needed to. I am going to deliberately put this this aqua next to this orange. Personally, I do love the way they look when they're next to each other. Even though they're opposites, I love that look. That's what reminds me of summer. What else? I think I'll put more red. Just play around with the colors. And I'm just going to throw in what is this one called? Navy blue. Throw in some navy there.
Karen, you said something very interesting to me. You said that you wouldn't do this by yourself. Do you find doing it in in a group better.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why I wanted to come because I knew I didn't have the paints, and I really didn't even want to deal with the paints. I only have one hand and cleaning up and all that. But I've been wanting to use this tablet that I bought, and so it works. Except I think I'm stuck with the 3 colors because I think I hit done. You know, like I don't know how the program works, so I think I hit done, and I was like, but I want another color, and I was like, no, you already hit done.
You're
So
But I
I guess I'm curious if we at AnCan need to implement a monthly art time where we can get everybody together and have a designated time where we do art.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I would do that. I would definitely
that would
come.
be
Okay.
fun. That would
Because
be
I have art
fun.
And
phobia.
Kim's going, yeah.
Yeah. I have art phobia. It's like I'm not gonna sit and do things by myself with that. It's like this, and
Except next time I'll make sure my paint is actually not old and like the consistency of dog poo. So I'll get that figured out next time.
No.
You have dogs, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, do have a dog. That's funny. Like, I wonder if, like, even if this wasn't like a set specific type of painting that we did, like, I wouldn't mind like moderating and helping out,
Right.
like giving some advice to anything that anybody has, any medium.
well, yeah, all the things you said. I mean, I'm not doing any of the things you said because I don't have that equipment, but I'm doing it. I'm incorporating it.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing it.
I just can't find the damn lavender.
Now I have my gift card here, and I'm actually going to change the way that I'm holding it. So of course, you know, wipe this off if it's wet. But this, I want the long way so that I can press down harder. And I'll show you here. And I can actually grab it more easily like this too. It also gives more horizontal space to drag these colors. So I'm going to start. See, I'm starting here just above my colors, just above. I'm going to press down hard, drag it all down.
Oh,
Look,
Oh,
it's so pretty.
yeah.
This is why it's my favorite.
Wow.
Now, don't worry, you have more chances to watch it. I'm going to be sure to wipe it off between every scraping. Set my card down just above my lines here. Press down hard, scrape it down. I almost didn't put that yellow there, but I'm so happy I did. Wipe it off. Last one. Start above. Oops. Scrape it down. Now this is perfect because I can show you that you can always go back and add more color, add a little extra dollop of paint if you need it. But because I don't like following exact rules, I'm also going to add another color too. Let's add. Of course, I'm going to reapply that red, but let me go ahead and do some more blue. Because why not? Okay. I've reapplied colors. Ready to scrape down. There we go.
Oh, right there, it's like the bee's pocket.
And right here, I've been able to make some colors that I hadn't seen before. I didn't know that these 3 colors would make some sort of like maroon plum color right there. So that's really nice.
Hannah, you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of like Nigerian fabrics. How they weave them with so many different colors. I love it.
I'm gonna have to look those up. That sounds really pretty. The bright colors. So this is the one where I think I am gonna make this one into a bookmark. I'm just gonna cut off that side and If you wanted to, you could always go back and, I don't know, perhaps add some lines or turn these into something. What could I turn these into? I don't know yet.
Hannah, one of the things
Back
I
to.
love about you, and especially because you have a mess yourself and you're not afraid, because you and I do art once a week, you're not afraid to show me that you have issues too, like I do. I'm still on cancer treatment, and it makes me feel like art is so accessible. Even though you're an artist, you still have MS fog, you still have some issues with your hands sometimes. And so I think it's great, especially Karen with us, and that art can be adaptable. It doesn't have to be just what we're doing for this project. And I just want to say thank you for opening up to everybody, because that's what we want to do.
Yeah, and you're right though. It can be accessible to everyone. And I will admit that the last, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks or so, a lot of my dizziness has come back and a lot of that cog fog has come back. And I'll find myself like literally sitting down in this room wondering like, hold on a second, like just 2 minutes ago I had everything organized in my head and now it's all gone. So what in the world happened to my day? And I may not even know where my day went sometimes because I just don't remember anything, or just I can't organize anything, or the dizziness, it just throws everything off. So I will come in here and I will make it a priority to sit down and make artwork. And I mean, like, it's always something quick. It's always something that's doable very quickly, but it helps to recalibrate my brain. And I really mean it when I say that after that recalibration, after I'm finished using the paints or the whatever medium I'm using, it's usually alcohol inks these days. I'm able to come back and actually see what it is that I was missing. I can remember finally. And I don't know what the process is behind that, but I just I call it a recalibration. And it's just what my brain needed. It's what I needed in that moment. Just to sit down, clear my head, and go about my day from there. Did you have a question, Jennifer?
Yeah, sorry. What are alcohol inks?
Yeah, alcohol inks. Let me show you. I have them behind me. I have an example actually. They're alcohol-based inks. So basically, when you drop the inks down, I have examples right here, but when you drop the inks down on a special kind of paper or on a canvas, it spreads. It's almost like watercolor, but it's not water-based. It's alcohol ink. It's alcohol-based, and it's like rubbing alcohol is really what it is, at least as far as I understand. And I'm fairly new to the alcohol ink world, but the colors and the things that happen when you make alcohol inks, you don't need any skill whatsoever. You don't need to think about it that much. And I do think about it because I like it, but it's this kind of thing. I know I have a lot of glare, but
that's really pretty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just because you missed it, I can say it because, yeah, we're on camera. Have you ever seen the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore?
Yeah.
When they get together and they create art together and they have a moment. I wasn't scraping very well, and Dan got, he grabbed my arm and we had a ghost. So thank you. I was like, look, we're making art together.
That's so nice.
I know. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Dan. You're the best.
He's getting another plate because we're going through the plates because we're listening to you, Hannah, but we're letting the art move us. So.
Oh, that's so good. I love hearing that.
That's what we want.
Yes, that's exactly what we want.
And so
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Jennifer, I think that you guys would probably really love alcohol inks. If you're having this much fun with the paint,
Oh,
the only thing I would I would say about alcohol inks is that you need a lot of ventilation because it does stink and it can give you a headache. So, but other than that, like, they're so fun. I highly recommend it if you want that sort of like recalibration that I was talking about.
And you just like drop the ink.
Yeah, you literally just drop the ink and then you drop the alcohol. Let me show you my tools really quickly.
Horseshoes had little.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to go too much off topic, so I'll keep it kind of short, but
Yeah.
I have, no, you're good. I love showing you this. I have here rubbing alcohol in here, and it's in this little special little tube that allows me to pour it on there. And then I'll use a straw to blow the ink and the rubbing alcohol together. And in that, it spreads and it blends with any other colors that you might put on top of it. So I guess that straw is important too, but it's fun to look. I would love to have a little alcohol ink art session.
I thought you were gonna say alcohol and ink session, which would also be great too.
Yep, also be great too.
Much, Hannah. The kids and I are gonna have to hop off because they're getting. Do you guys want to show your art?
Yes, we'd like to see what you have.
Show us.
That one.
Oh, that's beautiful. The colors you chose were so pretty. Oh. Oh, I like it. That's a lot of red. You really put a lot of effort into that. Good job, you guys. Look at all those colors, Dia. That's so beautiful.
Here's Dia's other one.
Oh, wow. You did two, Dia? Wow.
Three.
We did three.
Get mixed up. I get mixed up to pink instead of red.
And then
Oh, I see. I see.
Wow.
Oh, I love your color choice, Elizabeth, and I love the texture you're able to put on top of it.
Oh, I got a little bit of extra paint down there. Yeah, it was a little different because I think because we were using canvas.
Yeah, so I would imagine it probably felt a little bit different.
Onto my mommy's pistol.
Yeah, a little bit. That's Suraj's contribution right there. The little
Oh, I
red
see.
dot.
I see those dots. Good job, Suraj.
You guys have fun continuing painting. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye, Elizabeth.
Bye.
See ya. Bye. Now, I mentioned that, of course, you can put cut a piece of paper or fold a piece of paper in half and use tape to sort of block off the edges like that. And the tape, as long as you like tape it down to the table, you're fine, perfectly fine. And you can always make cards, so Christmas cards or birthday cards, whatever you want for that. I think I would love to show you guys the last technique, which in my opinion is very fun, but you have to kind of turn your hand around so you can give it a try. Personally, I had a lot of fun working on this particular shape here. So I think I'll show you this shape first. So I chose, let's see, how many colors did I use? I think I'll just stick to 3. Let's do that. Let's do it this way. I put the colors together, and I'm trying to remember which way did I actually put those colors? I don't remember, but that's all right. We're gonna go with it. I think I'll use pink this time. And for this one, I put a slightly larger blobby of color. So it's a little bit more than what I did that first time around with that other scraping, because I want to be able to go down as far as I can. So once again, you use the length of it this way, put it down above the paint. And if you want to, I always encourage you to sort of trace the line or trace the area that you wanted to make it go, like that. Gonna twist it. I made it pivot on the corner there, like that. Now I'm gonna try to line this up. Well, I am gonna clean it off first. Clean it up, line it up. I have this little bit of excess here, so I'm just going to scrape that excess and try to follow that same path as best as I can. Now, of course, I lost track of it at some point, but it looks very nice that way. I actually love the way that turned out.
Hannah, you know what this is reminding me of? And I know because this is something me and Hannah do. She will show me a piece of art and I'll just go, this is what I think that it is, or I'll name some of her pieces. Yep. That sort of reminds me of murals, like urban murals.
Oh yeah, like they're so colorful too, and they have that kind of flow, right?
Right, and some of the smudge marks too from the concrete that aren't completely smooth or flat. I'm like, that's that.
Yeah, I can see that. I can really see that. Like, I'm wondering where else we can take this. So art in general, for me, I feel like there's always something you can learn from an art piece, right? So you can always learn from something, and you can always keep working on something. So keep adding things to it to make it a little bit better every single time. So with this one, I sort of imagine maybe outlining with another color, perhaps not black. Maybe I can outline it with lavender or something. Maybe accentuate some of these lines here, and then figure out where to go with this area down here, because I like it so much. And I can see that brick texture that you were talking about. So how can I make bricks, I wonder? And these are the kinds of questions that I'm always asking myself whenever I'm doing a piece. Like, what can I turn it into? But the first step is getting the colors on there, getting something on there, getting started, taking that first step. And then you can go from there and work on it from there. I wanted to throw an example out if I can find it. This is another, what I have in mind. Let me see, where is it? It was a painting that I'm still working on. Painting that I'm still working on that needs more, you know, a little something, but I did it out of frustration, like just frustration of the day, and then decided it needed more of something. So I went back onto it and I did some more paint brush strokes with acrylic paint, and made it even better. I'm still not done with it. So, but it's that idea of reworking things again and again and again until you're satisfied with it, because it's also a brain exercise. It's a really good brain exercise to keep on building off of these artworks and keep on thinking about these artworks in new, different ways. I can't find it. Oh well. Oh well, that's okay. I can, however, show you guys the next technique, the last one. This one's going to be the pivot. You can kind of see it here. I had gone over it and covered it with some more white and with some other colors, but with the pivot, I literally just took the card and I made it turn round and round and round. Now I am probably going to be turning my paper around. For whatever reason, my MS brain didn't think to turn the paper around. I was turning myself around, so don't do that. Make life easier for yourself.
Yeah.
We're not doing the hokey pokey.
No. No, we're not. Not today, at least. Okay, so I'm going to go to my favorite colors. And once again, I'm going to put them in a line. I'm going to go with 3 colors. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's put some yellow. Now, once again, going back to that whole color theory idea, I put colors next to each other that I know would mix well whenever they cross paths. So I am going to move things out of the way so that they don't get in the way. Once again, put it on the side here. Now I am going to make sure that my my orange here is right at the end. It's right at the corner. And then turn it in a circle. Trying my best to keep it on the same, or relatively the same spot.
Oh yeah, another jump.
This is why we stay. We stay in place and the paper moves. Now I've got a lot of excess paint there, but I'm going to use this side to just kind of spread it out. I don't want to waste that paint. I'm kind of liking the way that looks. It looks like a pie.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like a candy corn pie, but without like the water, or I'm sorry, the white on the end. Now, let's see. How can we integrate another one of these things on top? I know that it's still wet, but I still want to play around with it. I'm going to start my line here. Maybe I won't put quite so much, not quite so much paint. Let's see. You know what? No, I'm going to use white paint. So how are you doing with yours, Kim?
Oh, I'm just mixing colors. When you have a scientific brain, it's kind of weird to just like, oh, what happens? And like not knowing what the finished product's gonna be. It's just it's a nice different world to be in.
I'm glad you're having fun.
No, it's really fun. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I enjoy art. I'm just not like if you had me draw a realistic thing, it's gonna look more Picasso. So
Yeah. Well, to be fair, drawing realistic is a whole nother ball game. But Alexa, she did make a drawing of a horse for the very first time.
Yes,
2
I
weeks ago,
did.
a week ago.
2 weeks
Yes.
ago.
Show them your horse drawing.
wow.
She did so good, didn't she?
Yeah.
First time ever drawing a horse, and Hannah makes it so easy. She compares things to food shapes, which is very helpful. We're going to make a peach. We're going to make a mushroom.
Yeah.
Where do you do that?
I'm sorry.
What is it?
Anna, where do you do your weekly art thing? In person? No, nothing's in person.
No.
No. It's online. I teach for an organization called Hearts Need Art, and so it's usually through them. But if you wanted to schedule something, like you and I can work something out for sure.
I've already sent an email to Rick about us doing art together more. So
Yay!
Yay!
There it goes. Hannah, can I show you what I did? I abandoned that other project because I think I hit done and I was done, you know, but
Yeah. Let's see the next one. Oh, there is. I see a little bit, but there's like a screen that's right in front of it.
is there?
Yeah, so I think it's blurring out the rest of it.
Here are the top search results.
Shut up. Let's see. Maybe I'm gonna try to see if I can get light on it. The
Yeah.
color, the lavender helped. Now I'm
Oh, it
afraid
did?
I'm afraid to ruin this. Well, I wanted the orange, but you know, I'm afraid now to ruin it because
There we go.
that
I
show
see
better.
it now. There we go. I see it now.
I love it.
I do. I like where you're going with it. I'm starting to see a pattern now where you're kind of following the same path with some of it, but sort of like deviating with other lines, but crisscrossing with other lines. It creates a nice texture. And I like the way some of the colors blend on the side there. Like I'm seeing that pink blending
Yeah.
into the orange and the
Well,
yellow.
This one doesn't have orange, but I can see on the screen it looks like orange. It's really all yellows. But
Oh, okay.
that's funny because I wanted some orange. Then I was afraid to add it, and it's like, oh well, now you know what it would be like. You know, I don't do art. I'm using my left hand because my right hand's paralyzed. So I'm so like tapping into things that
Yeah.
I never tapped into before.
Well, I would say use what you have, right? Make the most of it. Because honestly, there have been times when I really just didn't feel like I could use my brain. So I let the medium work for me. And if you can just sort of figure out how to let the other things that you have around you do some of the work for you, but also utilize your other hand, for example, and sort of practice with your other hand.
Well, my right hand's paralyzed. I mean, I used to be right hand dominant, and so I can barely do anything. And I got this tablet so I could learn how to write. And then I just I just completely abandoned that. So today, I mean, it's good just for me to even do that. And it's funny because the colors are not what you saw. I mean, the colors are green, yellow, and lavender, or you know, with shades. You know, I was able to do the combination of the shades. Yeah, there wasn't any orange. It's funny, and now I like that. And I'm not an Easter person. I'm Jewish. It's like I don't care about Easter, but it's like, okay, they're Easter colors. That's fine.
It's spring. It's like
spring.
a spring color palette. I hate to put people on the spot here, but Karen, I'm so glad that you shared what you did. Brian is the opposite of you, and I'm trying to get him to do more art, and that is amazing to me that you're being an actual example of that one-handed you can do it.
Well, here's all three. Now I'm learning, you know, I don't know this program at all. And when you were talking, I was just doodling the first one, like with all the colors, just to see if I could get it, you know, this one. If I could just see
pretty.
if I could do something that you were doing. You know, then I went, ew, look, that ugly brown. That's what she said. You know, and then the second one, I got stuck. I wanted to add the lavender and I got stuck in it. So I didn't do it. So I thought, well, I'll just start another one. But I mean, this is something I would do. And, you know, the lines came from you. I was just playing with the colors with the first one. And just, you know, seeing what this program does. I don't even know what program I'm in. And then I went to that second one, and then I'm like, all right, I don't like all those strong colors. I want them to be softer. So then I just made that up. But anyway, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, you're learning from it. And I feel like maybe you just needed that little bit of encouragement, that time to sit down and have somebody or a group of people that can sort of encourage you to finally work on it and practice it. So I'm really happy that you did that. You brought yourself to it.
I knew you'd be okay with it. Like, I know I'm the one that's asking all the questions. Tell me about the color. Wait, what did you say? What wheel?
No, that's good. That's good. I really feel like sometimes people just need that little bit of help and that little bit of encouragement to get something started and get something going. It's like me, like I keep telling myself I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna write. I don't know what I'm gonna write, but I'm gonna practice. Oh hey, now my mom shows herself.
It's Mama Junior.
Hello. That's my mom. Mom, I can't hear you. You gotta unmute yourself.
Pretty.
Oh, there we go.
There's one, and then there's juniors.
Oh, there we go. That's pretty. Look at those textures.
And I did the hard one like you were doing.
Yeah, that's really good.
I did it.
You did it, Mom.
I did it. That's it. Yeah.
That's pretty.
Awesome.
Yay. Now, I wanted to show you guys a few things that you could do with them. If you wanted to, you could keep them as is, or you can make them into something. And I had a few.
Brian wanted to share.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's see.
I have it on my phone. I did this on the computer. I've been doodling a bit while you guys were going.
Oh, nice.
Where'd it go? Just a sec, sorry.
There we go. Wow, you were doodling with that?
Nice.
That's super cool.
I was really,
I'm gonna get a new purchase.
really encouraged by what you said, Karen. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Say that again, Brian.
Like that one.
I was really encouraged by what you're doing, honestly, because I'm doodling with one hand as well. So I just really appreciate you saying what you did.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I showed mine first, because otherwise I'd be intimidated. Going, I can't do anything like that.
That's very cool. Thank you for sharing, Brian.
Thank you.
No, I'm glad that everybody's learning something from it, and that's the starting point. You learn something, and then you pivot off of that. You add to things. This one, for example, I didn't know that I was going to add black lines on top of it, and I didn't even know how the paint was going to react with the cardboard at first. I knew that the texture, that I might like the texture, but then I might not like the texture too. So I gave it a few minutes. I did the white and the yellow and the other side with the white. And then I gave it a few minutes, and I didn't really know where I was going to go with it. And then I just decided I'm just going to put some lines on it because it just needs something to pop. And it needed something to, I guess, sort of set it apart and just make it look a little bit different. So I started off by making that line, and that's all I did. I made the line, and I gave it a few minutes because I was like, okay, well, what else am I going to do? I don't know what else I'm going to do. Let's revert to what I always draw, my fish. I always draw my fish.
And the
So
name of
That's gonna be
Puffy.
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 Puffy, yeah. Because I love my fish. It's a strange thing to say, but I've had him for almost 12 years now. Yes, Alexa drew my puffer fish in one of our sessions, in one of our art sessions.
Big fan. Big fan.
Puffer, saltwater, freshwater, or can they be both?
That particular one is a little bit of everything. He's born kind of like salmon,
Brackish.
born in freshwater. Then he moves to brackish, and then now he's in saltwater since he's older. So saltwater fishy now. But to go back to my point, like I always revert to the same types of lines when I draw, the same types of things, and I will reuse them. I will put them on different things, make them look a little bit different. I might use them in a different setting, for example. But it's always very similar very similar types of lines and very similar types of colors. But it's just that idea of thinking about things in different ways and turning it around and getting your brain to really work and really think. And I think that might be the recalibration that my brain needs personally. It's the thinking about something else that's pleasant, that's nicer, and thinking about how to I guess work on something that looks nice and just makes me happy. The colors make me happy before I go on and sort of try and finish up my day. So I think that's it for my TED Talk. Thank you very much.
Hannah, do you have a favorite color that you just kind of always go towards?
Teal or aqua. This one right here. Always.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
It's always.
When you said you always revert to these lines, is that intentional or they're just yours?
No, it's more like I can't think of very much else in that moment when I'm in that moment, trying to recalibrate my brain and yeah, I just can't think of anything else. So that's my go-to. That's what I do. I just turn around what I already know, what's already in my back pocket. So I'll give you an example right here. I always draw the same few types of flowers, but I might draw them in a different scenario or with color pencils instead of pen one day, move the medium around. These kinds of flowers. I always go back to these. Or I might draw like different types of flowers. Well, I'm sorry, I might draw different amounts of the same types of flowers, I should say. Because they're super easy to draw.
For you.
Well, my trick is to draw more of them. Then it makes it look like it's harder. It's that power
Hannah
in numbers.
And I made beautiful art when I had pneumonia. She can just talk you. She is a miracle worker in many regards. Can talk you through anything.
You were very sick that day. I was amazed that you were able to get up out of bed and come to art class.
I was not gonna skip it.
And that was even you even had booked an extra class that week too. Extra class. Yeah, we worked through it.
I'm curious if anybody else would like to share. I know Kim's been working and Dan and Jennifer.
Sure, if you want to see what I've done.
Absolutely.
Everything's very abstract. Whoa. So this is my first one.
Here we go. Those just right off the bat, those look like, at least from afar, they look like colorful waterfalls.
Yeah, I was originally gonna go for the sea, but I ended up in the forest. It's like a sunshiny waterfall.
There we go.
That's this
I
one.
love it though.
And there's this one. And you have to understand, I'm working with like chunky paint.
Oh, you have your pizza box.
Oh my God!
Papa
John's has never looked so good.
What did you call it?
This is a pizza box.
Oh, your pizza box.
Yeah, pizza boxes, because I didn't have anything. So I asked her, and I was like, can we, will cardboard work? She's like, yeah, cardboard will work.
I love it. I can see the texture coming through.
Yeah, this is me just practicing, like you put the chunky paint on the thing and then hard scrape. So that was just me looking at colors and how to maneuver. And then it was funny because my husband, hold on here just a second.
I wouldn't know that was chunky paint. That looks like just good paint.
Yeah.
I had to giggle because the last pizza box I opened, he actually didn't empty it out completely. So I have a couple of those dried. What do you call whatever Papa John's has, those pepper, whatever you call them, in there. And then this is the last one where I'm just like, I have chunky paint left over. What am I doing? What am I doing? All right, we're doing swirls. So.
Oh, that's the round one. That's so cool.
So
it looks like a mosaic.
yeah, it's very, like I said, it's very abstract, just saying
Yeah.
where things go. So my favorite, I like this one is my favorite. Do I have it upside down? No, it goes this way. That's my favorite, and I do like this one too.
Yeah. Yeah, the textures really come through. I think that one might be my personal favorite. Just
The second one?
the layering of the colors. They're so nice.
Because they look more like something you would do. You're like, that's my favorite. I would do that.
Well,
I
it
guess
almost
with this one I actually see the abstract picture. I don't see like the abstract. Like I see this one, I'm like, I see the force. And it's probably harder to see the distinction of the colors through the screen. So yeah. So those are my
very cool.
artwork
Thanks for sharing.
with my paint by number dried out stuff. When I started thinking about this, like when did I buy this paint by number thing? It had to have been at least 4.5 years ago. It's like, okay, next time I'll bring new paint.
Impressive.
So it's an adding water, chunky, and yeah.
That is impressive, though. Like, I would not be able to tell that was chunky paint right there.
I was working with a special medium tonight. Media tonight. Yeah, just being creative and working with some water and throwing it. Like, well, we'll make it work.
Love it. Dan and Jennifer.
All right, we're our challenge, but okay. So this was our last one when you showed this.
Yeah.
It started as an apple and then just kind of went everywhere.
Applesauce. I like it.
And then this is the scrape one.
There we go.
And
there
we
we go.
Amazon here, so we just used a lot of boxes.
Yeah, so I had that.
Yeah.
So you also did the
like
cardboard approach.
Yes.
I like that one a lot. The color choice is so nice.
It's just red, white, and
very
blue.
Bold. It's very bold.
Thank you.
I like how they're all similar, but they're all completely different at the same time.
Okay, and then here's our last one because there's two of us.
You're so
And they're all, thank you. We're like already talking, Hannah, like, okay, we're gonna cut this one.
We're saving this card with the paint, because like we could do this again.
Yeah.
Nice.
So thank you.
Oh, I love that.
We'll show it off at AnCan in April 13th.
And if you wanted to send me pictures, I can put it on the blog too. I can make a whole blog post of our art. We might even can do a web page for it.
Yeah.
Like a little AnCan gallery.
You got it,
Alexa. That would be so fun. Take pictures and display it online. I love that.
This was so fun, Hannah. And Alexa, thank you.
I'm so happy you guys came.
Of course.
Yeah.
It was. I know, I even had more courage to add. I don't even know if I lost what was here or if I painted over it. I got to learn the thing, but I wound up adding the purple. It doesn't look, the colors are much better in person, but I was able to add some of the purple to this thing because I didn't want those hard lines.
Oh, that's pretty.
Very nice.
That's beautiful.
I think I can see them. Yeah, I think I see them right in between some of the yellow and some of the orange too.
I mean, I have no idea what this what this program is supposed to do. And you know what? As I watched everybody else's, Jennifer's and Dan's and Brian, I was just more intimidated. But Kim, I know that I would have said, I didn't do it right. And I always have to like find my own way. So if I had the paints and the credit card, a part of me would be like, I don't want to do that. It's not gonna come out. I don't want to do that. So I was like, oh, okay, I can do my own thing, and whatever it is, it can't be wrong because I didn't follow the rule. But I wouldn't have done this. I was taking what you're saying. Okay, scrape it through, find it through, all that. So it was really helpful.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, well, I'm so happy you said that because it really does take a lot of courage to forgive yourself too, because especially when you start something new, you are gonna make these things called mistakes, okay? But at least with art, there's so much room to forgive yourself. There's so much room to have fun and just play with it. And it's just, you know, learn from it. Learn from everything that you do, no matter what, because they really aren't mistakes, because you're learning from them. If you're learning from them, they're not mistakes. So that's how I see it. Like with Bob
I want
Ross's
to
Happy Little
make a
Trees.
quick note that I was watching Junior when Karen was praising Hannah so much, and he was just beaming because that man loves you, Hannah.
Aw,
Aw.
Junior, there you are. He's hiding.
Aw.
Aw.
Yeah, for me, it was really all the things you were sharing, because I'm more comfortable with performing art, and you know, actually 2 days after I went to the AnCan meeting, I went back to this dance practice that I was like, well, I can't do that because I can't even move. And I went back because it's calling on that muscle memory, that place that was for me my happy place. Like you know, for me singing, I can sing. If I sing, it's gonna reset me. But the dance is something, and that's why I was asking those questions, because sometimes I have like these dance moves I do, and they're more improvisational, more, you know, it's more it's not even expressive. It's like a therapy program that I did, and then but visual art, no, I don't do that. You know, I love color, but other than that, it's like, no, I don't do that. I can't do that. So it's always like risky for me to even do that. But I knew, just reading her bio, I was like, she'll let me. I can do this with her. I'll be okay.
Oh, thank you, Karen.
You know, yeah, and all the other commentary about, you know, so like when I do movement or I do music, it's like, yeah, it takes me to that place, you know, so it's new. It's like, ooh, you know, and for me, this disease is it's so confining. You know, I'm losing my physical mobility, getting out, and like for me, to have no new novelty and no new experiences and not meeting new people, that would just be deadly. So it's like, oh, look, I need that creativity. I need novelty. I need new stuff. So for me, it's so perfect.
No, I understand that need for novelty. That's why I like to explore and go to new places. I feel, you know, so stagnant when I stay still all the time. So it's like, I need to go and see something new, please. Otherwise, I'll just lose my mind. I joke to Junior all the time that I need to be walked because I can't stay inside all the time. Yeah,
but
I
I've
need
asked
to be
people to walk me. Yeah, I need that. And I've asked people to walk me. I mean, now I can barely walk, but when I had the walker, because I could feel my body slipping away, I know this disease is just attacking me. And I said, can you take me for a walk? What can I do to help you? I said, can you take me for a walk? Well, you seem to do pretty good with that walker. It's like, did I have a walker before? You know, and now I can barely walk with the walker. So, you know, it was like, yeah, wow, I'm walking around the neighborhood. Ooh, flowers, plants. Oh, look, I'm running into Alexa. Hi, Alexa. What do you, you know, just those new novelty things that my world has been shrinking. So this group has been great, you know, for that.
That's so
Good.
good.
Well, hopefully we can get more art get-togethers so that we can have, you know, more moments like this where we share our work and we do our work together and learn something new.
Absolutely. Hannah, thank you so much. This was amazing.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, Hannah. This was awesome.
Thank you guys for showing up, for being here. I always enjoy just talking and teaching art in any way that I can. So I guess you guys have a wonderful night.
Thank
All right,
you.
take
You
care.
too.
We'll see you.
Thanks. Bye.